Let's go ahead and call to order this regular meeting of the Kansas City School District's Board of Education meeting for September 15th at 6 o'clock. And roll call.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield?
Yes.
Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, item number 3 is approval and or correction of the minutes of the regular meeting from August 18th. Everything was. Thanks, Doug.
Second.
Thanks, Rodney.
Is your microphone on? Can't hear you. Okay, go ahead.
Vote.
Mr. Ludley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield? Mr. Carmine?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that brings us to item 5, the public comments section of the Board of Education. I think we have.
One person signed up. Becky Clegg would like to present to us today for mac and cheese, is that right? Leonard Center, if you want to go up to the podium and help yourself.
Cole, is that mic on? Thank you.
We just want to remind you, Mrs. Clark, that there's 3 minutes. to
That's
go.
fine.
Public comment. Thank you.
Good evening. I wanted to take time to share my recent experience with the Kansas City School District. Last year, our son, who has autism, attended Macacheek Learning Center and had the most successful school year he's had in 5 years. He's in 5th grade this year. We were very much looking forward to his second school year in the program and watching him to continue learning and growing. Last year, he almost made up for all of his academic losses in the years past, and he actually made it to the last day of school without having to be suspended. So he did very, very well. He got all A's and B's, 1 B minus. Over the summer, we were notified that Kansas City Schools was planning to go a different direction with their alternative place students and enroll them in a program that's housed right here in Kenton. We spent most of our summer trying to get information about it was going to give our son, if it was going to give our son the same level of support that he received at Macacheek. To this day, we still haven't been able to receive the answers to those questions. And we feel that we've been forced to send our son to a program that we aren't sure that we can trust, to take care of him, to provide for his education. We kept our son out of school for the first however many days, and then on Friday, I was hit with truancy because he wasn't going to school, and I'm also an educator. My children have not missed more than 1 or 2 days since they've been adopted, and now we have a truancy record. Of course, our hope is that the district will consider re-entering a contract with the Madison-Champaign County ESC so that Macacheek can be an option again. We just wanted what's best for our son, and we don't want to see him losing a year of academic and behavioral progress while we wait for this new program to figure things out. We have seen many red flags and feel like it's probably not the best pace for Kason. I would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thanks.
Clark. Okay, item number 6 is reports to the treasurer.
We are going to, given all of you your 5-year forecast. This year, we're having to approve the 5-year earlier because of the new House bill. They all have to be filed first by October 15th, so we're doing this today to meet that requirement. Next year, it'll be even sooner than that. It'll be August 31st for the first one, and the second one will be by the end of February, the second one. Of course, you can always update after that but those are going to be the two new required dates. With that said, just looking at the 5-year itself, again, like I always do, I give you guys more of a quick and dirty highlights, but then there's also the very lengthy notes that will be submitted to the state along with the forecast itself. The forecast is now being called the budget and 3-year forecast instead of 5-year, but you will still see a 5-year presented to you. With that said, got 3 years of history, 5 years of prediction. You'll scroll down just a little bit. Okay, so as always, let's go to 6.01. That's the magic of, are we over or under when we're taking in revenues? And up through the whole entire forecast until the very end in fiscal year 30, we are not deficit spending. We're sitting in a very good spot. If you scroll down to the end then for our cash balance, everybody wants to see that bottom line dollar. So we ended at 5.7 million, and we would have had more, but we remember, you remember we transferred out money into our 003 fund and about 4.75 million into our 070 fund. And the 070 fund, we have 10 years to spend that money. If we don't, you can move it back to the general fund. So that's why you're seeing a big difference from the previous year to this past year in cash balance. We're looking at almost a $6.6 million cash carryover for the end of this fiscal year. These years then right here do not have anything in salaries except for step. So once we negotiate, those will be more hardcore numbers, which will become this spring. We'll be negotiating with both unions, and we'll have more of an idea of where we sit with that. We also have, if you want to scroll, just go into the expenses line 3.01, Cole. Yeah, scroll back down. Okay, so here's all the expenses. This is what I was talking about here. So any of these salaries right here just include a step, does not include where we're going to end when we negotiate as a percentage. Retirement benefits, again, those will be adjusted and inflated a little bit once we know where we negotiate with our unions as well. We've taken zeros in our insurance for the last couple fiscal years. We will probably see some kind of increase come this next July because we are going to make the pot a little bit sweeter for some of our employees. And this was a consortium decision. So we'll have a little bit more knowledge of that. Once 18 months roll into that, we'll start changing that January 1st of this next year. And it takes about a good 18 months to see exactly how that rolls out. But we will have to probably give a little bit on something when our underwriters look at us come this spring, and they probably will give us a little bit of an increase. What that'll be, I'm not sure. It could be 2, it could be 4. I don't foresee anything too drastic on it. 1.035, again, that's, I'm sorry, yeah, going to the revenues. That's our unrestricted money. We're going to see a little bit of an increase on that because we are in the 5th year of the phase-in. Even though they didn't give us anything more than that, we still are in a phase-in. So we went from 67.7% phase-in to an 83.3% phase-in. We are on the formula, which means every kid counts for us. Let's go to the PowerPoint for me, because then I'll show you a graph. I know sometimes when you look at graphs, those mean a little bit more something to you. So if you go to number 7, yep. So state funding, we get 60% of our funding from the state, and obviously then 40% from our local people, which is our taxes. Then if you go to, let's see, the next slide on 14, Colt, that'll show our expenses. So our expenses then combined between the benefits and the wages, that's the biggest expense expense that we have, and that's just about 80% there. No, about 79, 78%, a little less than 80%. And then everything else is 20%, which supplies, purchase services, things of that nature. So those are the two biggies, the pies that might put a little bit more into perspective for you. I found it very interesting that talking about public schooling versus private schools, public schooling as a whole, enrollment around the state has been decreasing at about almost 7% in the past 7 years, and private schools have grown exponentially between FY22 and FY25 due to the expansion of Ed Choice scholarships. Their enrollment exceeds over 180,000 since 2010. Not a lot of students, but it is significant when you talk about private school funding because they've been putting a lot of money into private schools. In our other revenue, if you look at the line 1.06 on your spreadsheet here, that catches everything else. And part of that $1.4 million in our spreadsheet, part of that is our interest. Last year we earned about $845,000 in interest. This year I've got us earning just about $833,000. So that's more than half of that line 1.06 in all other revenue. And the reason why it's a little bit less is because interest rates have gone down a little bit. So that's where we're at with that. So we've been doing very, very well with our interest. Everything else in that line item will consist of Medicaid reimbursement. For fiscal year 23, we received an $80,000 true-up, which was a nice little surprise, and that's because you have an audit every year on our Medicaid students, and they find if you owe or if you get more, and we've always had a payment due to us. So that means for any psychologist or PT or OT or speech, anybody that touches any of our kids, that all gets uploaded to the Medicaid system. We do receive monies throughout the year, but then there is an audit for each fiscal year, and then they find if there was any monies that we were owed, and we were owed $80,000. So we received that this fiscal year. So that's another little catch-all in that 1.06 as well. We also receive our JROTC funding from that. Let's see. This year, I talked about our grants. We're still offsetting salary and benefits. So if you look at the 3.01 line on your spreadsheet of $14.2 million, it could be 1.3 more than that, but it's not because we get grants. So we offset salary and benefits by $1.3 million. So that's a significant offset for us as well. Let's see, our tax collection rate is at about 96%. Our income tax, we are showing just a little bit below than what we collected this past year. And the reason for that is there were fewer collections from prior year unpaid liabilities. We noticed that. A little bit of a trend going on there as well. I guess basically bottom line is we are in the black through FY30. We really don't have any concerns at this point in time. I did put in operating transfers out in fiscal year 27 and fiscal year 29. I put $200,000 in there. Part of that is to offset a purchase of a bus. So I did put that in there as well. Other than that, unless you have questions, this is what's going to be submitted to the state. And that's what we'll be voting on tonight.
So, you want to talk about what we talked about in there about the property tax and how old those villages are, or you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so we looked at how old our continuing property tax millage rates are. The first one was a combination, I'm sure, of many in 1976, and that was like 20.1 mils. The next one was voted in 1980. I think that was
Right.
Yep, that's
More
right.
mills or
Right.
something like that. And then the last one that was voted in for this district was in 1985, and that was like 4.2 mills. So we haven't asked for any new operating millage for that long. The only thing that we've ever done was ask for income tax, and that was in 1995. Other than that, we haven't had to ask our district for any new operating mills.
And those millage, you get a set dollar amount.
Yep.
If, when your property values go up,
They set
we
the
don't
millage
get,
back.
we don't get more money out of that. So, realize property taxes is a hot issue right now in Ohio, but, I mean, it's, just because your values go up doesn't mean the school gets more.
Right. And, you know, as we talked about in our finance committee meeting, the fair that I'm back up home from Fulton, we used to do like the Wyandotte County Fair, there were booths, I'm sure there's many other booths and other fairs where they were promoting no property taxes. So they were doing a petition on no property taxes. And what that means, I mean, yeah, we don't have any new millage, but we do have bond issues. And those bond issues are based off of our collection of our property taxes. And that's how we pay our bond. So if that goes away, you know, the ratings for not just us, but any school, could be compromised.
Compromise, there, how would you ever pay it back? I
How
don't
would
know.
we pay it?
I mean,
So, you know, we know that those raters, the raters are looking at the state of Ohio because of that very situation. Is there anything else you want me to?
would you, no, would you assume that, you know, you said 80% of it comes from the state. Would you assume back in the 80s or 70s when they had that, was it not as high then? Would you assume that? Wouldn't have been maybe
Possibly.
80%, maybe it was only 60% or 50% at that point? Because basically we're working on the same monies we were then.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, the only way you get more money is the state giving us more.
right.
And that's separate from the property tax, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a convoluted system.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep, thanks, Joe. Have a motion to accept that. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Tasha.
Mr. Wingfield? Yes. Mr. Carney?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mr. Singer? Mr. Lutton?
Yes. Item number 7, superintendent reports.
Okay, so this was not originally on the plan, but we're going to go ahead and gather feedback real quick. So you guys were sent some slides and some options for potential athletic field renovations, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And then I got, Doug had talked with Rodney and I both about some ideas on what was sent, and so I thought it would be a good idea, or we thought it'd be a good idea to share it with the rest of the board and just have some discussion on what the idea is. We're not making any decisions, nothing is going to be finalized in this meeting, but feedback is good, so I'm gonna go ahead and put up a picture just so that way you guys can look at it as we talk.
I thought we were doing it
Hold on, I'm
after.
just gonna unplug it, if it's okay, the HDMI.
Doug,
won't
hey.
pay checker,
Chat,
unless you have that.
weren't we gonna do this after the meeting?
Well, it has to be done in public meeting. I
Oh,
thought during my, 'cause
Okay,
we're not
all right.
taking any action.
all right. I didn't know we was doing it during the meeting. I thought we was doing it afterwards because we weren't gonna make a decision. We could do it afterwards. Whatever. You wanna go up there so you can show them what you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right.
So basically Doug wanted to meet with me about this, and he had some different ideas on maybe how this should be laid out. I mean, I don't oppose what he's talking about, it's got some benefits, so he's gonna kinda give you an idea of what his ideas are, and then we can discuss it, and then maybe we can figure it out.
Yeah, so obviously when we got the emails that was sent out with the flybys and stuff, I took a good look. I've actually been just thinking about it. How can it benefit us totally? You know, we're really gonna plan on building this as an athletic complex, really. The only thing missing from here is what, football and track. Football and track's not going to be in here. So what I thought would be kind of ideal, I love the proposal of, possibly, we got to do something with tennis courts. That's not in this picture. But that's something that we'll have to do. But with the layout here, I love some of the things that we've done. The only thing that I was thinking about that might make more sense for us is a couple things, actually. One, I'm not sure, honestly, we need 2 football practice fields. So one of the ideas was to change this area here. I think this would be ideal for a parking lot right here. It's got access. We can actually have access to the soccer. I know we're talking about changing the field, the home run fence. I love that idea. I think we need more room here. We know we need more room for spectators in there. So I think that's a great idea. So I would really like to see us consider this to be the parking lot here. I also, with that in mind, the location of this, I just don't like it. I don't think it's ideal. I would like to see us maybe move that over to here, right to here. So number 1, parking lot, handicap, easy access to everywhere. This would be kind of more of a concrete, get to all fields and be able to go into the soccer field here. But it centralizes this building. We need restrooms out there, guys. We all know that. We're using porta johns right now, which is not ideal. We need restrooms out here, but centrally locating for the complex, I think makes the most sense to me. The other part of that, yeah, we can move the soccer practice field here, and that would be okay. Is it ideal? No. The other thing that I actually really, really like, I actually like moving the soccer practice field right here. And it's big enough to do it. By all the measurements that I took, I think that would be ideal. And while we're doing that, I know our proposal for the building here was kind of locker room, storage, ticket booth, that kind of stuff. The main reason I don't like it here, guys, is we don't own this property. That can be taken away anyway. And if you know Don Wong and Wanda Wong, like I do, I rented from them for 8 years. They're not people. They're not nice people. They don't care about us. They could give 2 craps about us, honestly. Sorry about the language. But this is actually even considered loading and unloading. It's not even a parking lot. It's unloading. Now, I know there's no business there where Kroger's used to be. So, but I'm really concerned of having a main entrance over here because we can lose it at any time. So I think the central location of this, and, it is debatable whether the practice field go here or here. And then really it's kind of open for discussion. I think this would be an ideal spot for maybe, right here, we talked about this, and this is soccer or whatever. It's for a net, but I think a good area right here to practice shooting goals. This would be an ideal spot for that, right off the field, where you could warm up there. But I think Rodney and I had the discussion about the lights for the soccer field. I think it's ideal too. It needs improved. It definitely does. You sit in here and you can't see. I didn't notice it. Rodney told me about it. The more and more I think about it, there's a big pole there, and I never really noticed it before. But I think I like that part too. So really just some minor changes and tweaking, really just giving us a complex here with a central complex with some storage. And maybe it's storage for softball and baseball and soccer. Restrooms there where everybody could use them. Because we all know this restroom right here is a single restroom. I mean, there's 2. There's a urinal and a commode for a guy in the men's restroom. And it's not big enough to serve these. So why not have something more centrally located? So that was the idea that I've been tossing around. I just wanted to present it to you guys and see what you thought. By doing this over here, though, the parking lot, much more parking, much better access to all areas of that. So I think that was all. Any other questions?
Did you change the fencing on the baseball?
Well, yes. I think we're going to need, like we talked about, I think this, we got to scoot that back. We got to need more room so you can see this. And I think it'd be good to cut this. And I think by talking to Josh, the head coach and stuff, I think we could do something pretty cool for the baseball to have our own, make it our own, make it the Kenton, not the green monster or whatever for Kenton, but somewhere. Make it higher, do something kind of unique for Kenton, honestly. I think that would be awesome. So, And then obviously fencing, we'd have to contend with and all of that, so. But that was my idea.
Did you like this layout better, or did you like that half a field in between the two better?
I actually like, I guess it's gonna depend on what we decide to do. I mean, 100%, do I think we need this? I don't know. That's a question for me, because if, we've also been debated about make this all turf. If we make this all turf, I don't think we need this. They can dribble the ball, soccer, dribble the ball, whatever, inside turf, anywhere we've got turf. They could use that facility if they want to practice on turf or not. So I don't know, I'm not sold on that. I don't know if we need a big turf field for that. It'd be nice to practice on, yeah. But we do have the big athletic facility that's got turf in if we really need to do some turf work. And that's baseball, football, soccer, whoever. I mean, that's why we've got the big building with the turf in it. So that's kind of the thoughts I had. I tried to think through most of it, but I think it would just make more sense. And I'm thinking of more about the students and actually the spectators coming to look at it.
If you went to one football field over the other, is that what you're saying?
Well, if we move the practice field of soccer over there, then we go. Now, if we don't move the practice soccer field over there, then probably just utilize it. That's all.
I mean, couple things. So moving that building over there, it's easier to access water line, sewer, and the electric's right there. We can still, and we're putting that drainage tile up through there so we can get rid of all the water. Right, and so, he says he's mapped that out where those, where the tennis courts are, that it is big enough for the soccer field. I don't know. You can have to check that. I mean, we're not making decisions.
Yeah, it was just ideas.
But the more I think about it, I don't really like that shoved in that corner over there. And if we could put it there and incorporate whatever your design is, and if you have to redesign it to make it work in there, it's not that big a deal. And so, and then the entrance would be there instead in the back here, where we're cramming it in somewhere.
Well, and I like it being on our property, the parking and all that.
Well, I like it because it's gonna be easier to get to the building. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate doing that.
You talk about public bathrooms for the soccer, what if it was, bathrooms for there, but you're talking about baseball, softball, the other whole, because they said there's only two, how many would be ideal?
So I don't know. I don't know the footprint of your building. Honestly, I don't
How many
know.
spots do you, how many restrooms do you get, or like,
How many toilets?
yeah, that's all I'm trying to say was.
For women, I'd probably say, I think you'd probably need at least 3. Probably 2.
You got more than that.
We were more than that.
You'd probably have more
I
than
didn't know
that.
what you said, you had 2 over there, you thought that was not, I didn't.
Well, it's a shared restroom.
Well, no, not in
Is
the
there 2
athletic building.
restrooms there?
There's actually 2 restrooms, but they're, number one, they're tiny. They're not handicap accessible. So that's a problem in itself. And it's cramped. I mean, the men's restroom over there, I don't know if I've been in the women's over there, but the men's, the urinal, and, I mean, it's tiny. But I think it would improve that.
I mean, I think, Brad, if this is kind of what we decide to do, I mean, you would probably slide that building down this way so that the building's going, your ticket thing would be on this corner, and then it'll be down this way for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, drainage is great.
Well, I mean, it ain't in yet, so we can do whatever. If this is what we decide to do, everybody, I mean, I don't know, Tasha, Brandon, what's your thoughts?
So, my only thought, honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is, so, are they gonna move like a potential cross-country course, like out where the new middle school, high school is at, like Raider Woods and all that, because that's a lot of where they're currently running. I'm just thinking, that's what came to my mind.
It's funny, he looked into that.
Because that's where they currently run the majority, how Brad, where they run
Yeah, we
their 2
talked
home
about
meets.
that,
So,
probably like, how many months ago did we talk about, a year ago, we talked about cross-country paths.
yeah,
They're trying to build one in on just the high school, middle school. You'd have to do, circles to get around, just to get 3 miles, 3.1 miles into it there.
yeah.
That's where I think that we talked about going into the woods. I think
That'd be pretty cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
I've said to Chad, before, is that I hope that each of our athletic sports can have the ability at some point in time to host a district or be a neutral site for a have
Right.
nice enough facilities that we
Right.
can at least host. I understand that maybe football's probably up to table because they did that turf for that, we're gonna go that turf route, that's all table, but everything else, at least, that's where I'm trying, that's where I want to go with that. So, when we go across the country, that's the same thing, I'm just trying to find a way to be able to go out and make a loop, that makes sense from that.
And I mean, this isn't gonna eliminate, I mean, we can,
So,
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, I just was thinking that that's in that general areas where they do a lot of the holding meets out or whatever, but, and then as far as the, like, all-purpose field, I think it's a good idea. I mean, I don't know, I guess it just comes down to what, is it like a cost thing, an expense thing as far as that goes, but the purpose that it would serve, like,
which field you talking about, Brandon?
just that.
The-
all
the little one-
ones-
little
yeah,
one up
the
there?
little one up there in the corner. Yeah.
I mean, so, my whole idea on this is we're just gonna take a little bit of a chunk at a time. And we'll do this, see where we are financially. We'll do another thing, see where we are financially. And at some point, it's like, well, we can't afford to do it anymore, whatever. But I'm telling you, that baseball field's in terrible, I mean, it drops off 2 feet behind third base there. You're shortstop, you're running downhill for a ways. I mean, it's just,
I was shocked about how
Far off grade it is.
elevation was.
yeah.
So this is all gonna, it's all gonna ideally come out of that 07 fund, is how we'll pull this, the majority
Well,
of it's from to.
I mean, so right now, yeah, I mean, the PI, I mean, there's gonna be, once they get this building done, all of our building, and they close out everything,
Right.
I think you're gonna have a bunch of money that's gonna get dumped into that PI fund, because there's only certain things you can, the only places you can put it, it's about there, so. But I mean, right now, and we discussed this, Jill, you look at the amount of interest that we're drawing on our general fund, we're really not spending the general fund money. All we're spending is the interest that we're drawing on that general fund, because we've been fortunate enough that interest rates were high enough, we were getting, the 800,000 a year or whatever.
And
So,
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
yeah, so, like the soccer field, we agreed to pay 400,000. Well, it only cost 275,000 to do that soccer field. So, I mean, it's just, okay, a little bit of time and see where we're at. A little bit more, see where we're at. But we gotta get it laid out the way,
Right.
have a plan, and this is what we're gonna
So
do.
then you know kind of
But
an idea of what it's
we
gonna-
don't have to do it all at once.
Right. I think the biggest thing is, and you guys all know this, it's, as the process begins, just being transparent to the community as, why are you taking, what I mean, doing all these projects. And I think we need it, I really do. I think it's just time to things get redone, renovated, upgraded. That's not a disagreement at all, it's just gonna be,
What is your take on bathrooms down towards between, it looks like there's probably add on to the softball field there. Is there any, if you should think about it, maybe you don't answer this question right now, think about it, but would you want another bathroom down, smaller, just bathroom only down there? The reason I asked that question is then that allows you to flip-flop the locker room to the parking lot, and you have essentially those in the parking too. If you flip-flop what you just said about boys for the soccer locker and parking lot, you flip-flop these two? Because you said, put a parking lot here,
Yeah.
and then you said, put that over here. Well, I'm just saying, you flip-flop these two and you put a parking here, it can serve this closer here, but you have to put another bathroom down there to make that work. Smaller bathroom,
Well-
bathroom only.
He doesn't think that's that far to walk down to the soccer
I
field.
don't think, I think I would prefer and go to the new facility that's 80 yards away, restroom-wise, then go to that little one. The other option would be is to, I don't know if you can make those bathrooms bigger in that athletic building. I mean, I know the locker rooms, I don't know if that was this.
Whatever we have, if they're building a softball field, it's something not too far away that we could go off bathroom,
Yeah,
not for, it's like,
yeah.
not much money for that.
I would like to start a training mission.
Defiance. I'm not sure.
Defiance, yeah, Defiance Day. That's the only one that I've been to in the past 6 years.
I mean, we gotta get a consensus on that building that we're trying to get started here in the next month. That's the big thing. So if that's what we're gonna do, then you may have to reconfigure how that's laid out.
The other thing that you could think about is if we're able to put the practice soccer field over where you've got the parking lot there, over by the building, put some money into those locker rooms there, and they could be that are in the existing building that we use now. That'd be really close to the practice facilities for the soccer team too. So do we need locker rooms over there in the middle where the restrooms are gonna go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see your design.
But remodel those things, they're freaking huge. Those,
What is it?
like if you did,
But you're only encompassing the boys, not the girls.
well, there's boys locker room and girls locker room over there in that building.
The old high school. he's
The old
talking
high school in town.
Right, oh, so the girls.
If you remodel,
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, I've never been to those. So the girls soccer could move from the field house over to the, whatever is in the high school you're saying.
oh, that for their practice locker room?
Yes.
I mean, they could.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because you said it's close, and I'm just like, it's, from the field house to there is 100 yards.
No, I meant, I meant if you move the locker rooms over to that building.
Right.
Yeah, I see. I didn't know the girls soccer were in the athletic.
They're in the athletic, yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
They're in the, yeah, so that's what they're walking right now. Yeah.
You're saying they just redid the girls' and boys' locker rooms there, didn't they?
Not in high
The
school.
girls was redone a little bit, maybe 10 years ago. They created a separate varsity locker room, but just for basketball. And the reason that soccer can't use it is there isn't enough space in that one. So if you were to remodel, because you don't have PE in there anymore,
Right.
you could open it back up and redo it if you wanted to. But- Yeah.
You probably have as much in that as well. It was good question, Bill. wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
sometimes renovating.
That could be the case. That's
found
right.
that? Yeah.
That could be the case.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, and, I mean, I don't want to cut anybody off or anything like that, but I know we got the rest of the agenda. I just wanted to make sure this was presented, and you guys could provide some feedback if wanted, desired. And you can still do that, even after this meeting. You can let me know, and then I can share out with the board, that kind of thing.
Okay,
So, all right.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. All right, so that brings us to item number 8, board committee reports.
Finance had theirs, which I just presented.
Okay. I do have a few updates from Deb Purcell about Ohio High Point. Let's see. So the update from Mrs. Purcell says that there are 720 students on the main campus now over at Ohio High Point. She also shared that Luke Hensel from KHS was selected to make a presentation to the board regarding week on, week off school work program. And she said he loves it, allows him to hold a job, makes him money, complete his education, and still participate in extracurricular activities. She also shared that the main campus will be starting an LPN program for the high school students this year. She said there's approximately 20 seniors who met the requirements for the program. She said the students will be enrolled in Clark State University. 1 month after high school graduation, they will complete the LPN program and be eligible to sit for the licensure exam. I'm just kind of trying to hit on some of the main points here. She said at that time they will have the opportunity to complete 1 more year of college with Clark State on the Ohio High Point campus and complete the registered nurse program. So she said it's possible that a student could be a licensed registered nurse before they're 20 years old. She did say just to keep in mind that I think most hospitals now require like a bachelor's degree with 5 years of employment. But she said that'll allow the students to have the opportunity to be working while, if they do choose to take the bachelor's courses. She shared some student numbers for the Kitten Satellite courses. Says there are currently over 400 students in the district taking advantage of the career and technical education. She said that KMS Business has 68 students. Pre-engineering has 137 students. The Kenton High School Ag has 93 students. 48 are taking the welding and workshop elective. Business has 76 students. Allied Health and Nursing has 73 students. And she did also share that they hired a new ag instructor for Kenton, Patrick Miller. That's really, I think, the main points that I just wanted to share from her update for Ohio High Point.
Thank you.
There was no old business. So, a motion to accept.
Pencil.
Don't need to do that. I always do that, yep. All right, moving on to new business, authorizations and resolutions. Item 11A is to approve the bus transportation between Midwest Regional ESC and Kansas City Schools. Item 11B is to approve the following donations. And we can see that list there, and we're just always very grateful for the donations that we get. Let's see. Item 11C is to approve the 5-year forecast that Jill already presented to us. Item 11D is to approve the amendment of the Certificate of Estimated Resources as follows. Item 11E is to approve the amendment to the appropriations as follows. Item 11F is to approve the list of volunteers for the 2025-2026 school year. Item 11G is to approve the updated facility rental rates as presented. Item 11H is to approve the agreement between Ada Exempted Village School and Kenton City Schools to transport Ada FFA students starting October 1st and to continue through June 30th, 2026. Motion to accept.
Pencil.
Thanks, Rodney.
Cornmeal, second.
Thanks, Doug. No vote. Any discussion on that?
Is Ada bringing their FFA students to Kenton? Is that what's going on?
I believe that our students are actually writing theirs. I think this is worded a little backwards, but I think the agreement says that our students are going to ride with theirs to national.
Oh, just
Convention.
just to the national thing.
Oh,
Ah, gotcha.
okay.
Gotcha,
I don't know,
okay.
Jill, if you can verify, but I thought that was what the, because when I,
Extracurricular events, activities.
yeah, it's just, they don't need a whole bus. We
Transportation.
don't need a whole bus,
Yeah,
so
right.
they'll share.
Okay. Thank you.
Vote.
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
Mrs. Heidinger? Yes. Mr. Rowley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield? Yes. Mr. Carney?
Yes.
All right, item 12, personnel items. Item 12A is to approve the salary adjustment for the 25-26 school year for the following. Brooke Austin. Item 12B is to approve Harry Sharp, KCS bus driver. Item 12C is to approve Mary Walls, Kansas City Schools bus aide. Item 12D is to approve Mary Walls as KCS bus aide. Item 12E is to approve Jackie Lamb for KHS cafeteria. Item 12F is to approve the following substitutes. Item 12G is to approve supplemental contract employment for employee. That list there. Item 12H is to approve supplemental contract employment for non-employee. Item 12I is to approve the written retirement resignation of Carol Scott, KES secretary. And Carol has been with Kenton City Schools for 29 years. That's awesome. Thank you for your dedication and service. Item 12J is to approve the written resignation of Alessandra Burrows, KHS JROTC Rifle Team Advisor. Any discussion on any of that? Good. Thanks, Brad. Vote?
Mrs. Heidinger? Yes. Mr. Rowley?
Yes.
Mr. Wingfield? Mr. Carney?
Yes.
Mr. Hensel?
Yes.
All right, the next regular Board of Education meeting will be held on October 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Timeout is 6:45.